All right, and we are back here at Western New York Gaming's PPTQ for Dublin. I'm Tom Davis alongside Ryan Dunn, and we're getting ready to start with our second semifinal. The first one went ahead and went on without us and is already over. So John Tazio on Infect very quickly moved to the finals.
Yeah.
Dispatching Christian on Affinity.
Actually, don't know
who played Mike Bauman last round, or in the quarters is who that was.
Tyler.
So he got beat by Infect. John will be waiting for the winner of this matchup in the finals. And this matchup is going to be Jeremy Izzio once again on Affinity, going straight into the semifinals against Nick Atallah, not Nick Artola, as we were so nicely pointed out to us earlier. Nick is on Breach Titan.
So again, this version of the deck is running. Actually, so this one's running one Emrakul. Interesting.
Yep. One Emrakul, no Scape Shift.
Yep. I think I incorrectly stated before that he was on many Emrakuls. He's actually just on.
He's on singleton Emrakuls.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like kind of barely has that Emrakul slant,
yeah.
Which I think is perfectly reasonable.
Yep. And for those of you who are interested in the World Championships, Brian Branduin is in the finals, waiting for the wrap-up of the other semifinal match. And I forget the people who are in the semis because I haven't been paying too much attention. But it will be, I think, Bant Company that BBD is on in Standard.
I think he's on Bant Humans.
He's on Bant something.
Okay, I think he might have been the one on Bant Humans.
Okay.
I don't recall though.
Okay.
And before we switch down to the match, I just want to mention that I was articulating some lines that Bob could have taken in the last game, where he could, pay for Summoner's Pact, and then untap and pact for a Rexage and cast it. Well, it turns out he couldn't do that because he only had 2 basic forests in the deck, and I didn't catch that. Oh. So that's why he couldn't tutor up any forests with the prime time, even if he attacked with it. Okay. So if he's paying for pack, there's no way he can cast a Rexage in the same turn.
Gotcha.
And our player's about to draw their opening 7, so I'm going to move us down to the match.
All right. So who do you think is favored in this matchup?
Breach Titan versus Affinity.
Jeremy, I believe, gets a choice to play or draw.
So it depends a lot on how many angers the Breach Titan deck is running in the main.
All right, so it looks like...
I think this one is the one that doesn't have any.
He has 0.
Oh, he has 2 Traverse the Evenwald. That's interesting.
Sure. He has only 1 in the entire 75 Anger of the Gods.
Yeah, so I think game 1, Affinity is favored in this matchup.
Okay.
Obviously... the players are looking to erase game 1, so it's certainly possible that Nick is going to just have a quicker draw.
Yeah.
And you said Affinity was on the play this game?
Affinity is on the play.
Yeah,
Jeremy
so
gets the choice.
That kind of exacerbates that advantage. And if anybody in Twitch chat has a difference of opinions, let me know on that. Yeah, so Breach Titan has been really exploding in popularity lately. I think the deck is very strong.
It is.
It has some ludicrously fast draws, and it's also resilient in the sense that a lot of games, if you just have a Titan hit the battlefield for a split second and you get the Valakutes you need, all you have to do is play your lands.
And you win the game.
Play your Sakura Tribe Elders.
Yep.
And the game's eventually going to end.
So what decks do you think Breach Titan's weak to right now in the meta?
What is Breach Titan weak to? I would say primarily faster aggro decks.
Like your Infacts of the world?
Yeah, and potentially Affinity.
Okay.
Of course.
Potentially Affinity.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is what we were mentioning before. No, they do have a lot of tools, like Anger of the Gods, for example.
Sure.
I'm trying to think if there's controlling decks that are very good against Breach Titan. I don't think there are.
Does Eldrazi Displacer hit a permanent or a creature?
A creature.
Okay.
Though I'm not sure which permanent you'd be referring to in this matchup.
Valakut.
I mean, I don't think it does anything, right?
At some point.
Well, I mean, if you flicker, it just enters play again, right? So it's
not
actually on a play for it.
That's
if
fair.
you could Reflector Mage the Valakut,
now we're talking. That would be so good.
Just never let a Valakut hit the table again. Yeah, so Collected Companies are rotating from Standard, which means I can't Coco into 2 Reflector Mages anymore.
Well, but what a first world problem you have.
But there's an artifact for 4 mana So it's like the same as Coco, and it duplicates triggered abilities, so I can still double reflect mage people.
You want to ride that gravy train? By all means, you keep riding that train.
When Rally the Ancestors rotated, I went straight to the green-black Aristocrats deck because I didn't want to let that deck die either.
So now that we're done talking about Standard, let's get on to the semifinals of this match.
It looks like a Memnite is going to be coming down here. And do we have if we have Mox Opal, it's a turn 1 Steel Overseer and 2 Memnites.
Yummy. Or turn 1 Cranial Plating.
Nah, it's got to be... Ooh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess this is better against just Lightning Bolt.
Yeah.
But...
And I'm sorry, Nick was on the play there, but he just led with the top Valakut.
Oh my goodness.
Looks like he does have at least one Primetime Farseek, 2 lands.
Yeah, I mean, if Nick doesn't have a Bolt this turn, that's
really
Steel
bad.
Overseer would have been game over.
Yep.
Somebody's messing with the players here.
How?
Did you see somebody came over and like slammed their hand on the table?
That's nice.
Frightened them.
That's real nice. What an upstanding thing to do.
Alright. So you got fetch land for basic.
Yep. Go to 19.
He knows his life total is under pressure here. And then Farseek for the stomping ground.
Yep.
So that's the sequence I'm more used to rather than fetch and shock myself and then Farseek for a basic. But.
Sure. Jeez. Fast play by Jeremy. The draw looked to be a Mox Opal there. Nope. Might have been. Inkmoth Nexus is the play, though.
I mean, you could just go for it. Oh, never mind. You could just play the Inkmoth this turn. I was going to say you could just go for 2-turn kill straight up.
Looks like you're going to...
Or, sorry, pay like a kill over 2 turns, as in a turn 3 kill, not a turn 2 kill.
Looks like, is he going to activate the next side here?
I feel... No, because deploying a threat puts another artifact on the board, too.
Sure, and they're Steel Overseer.
Yeah, this is worse against Anger, but... Yeah, I guess this front loads the damage.
Yeah.
Instead of leading.
And if Jeremy knows that Nick doesn't have Angers in the main deck, this is by far the better line. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 artifacts. He's going to be coming in for 7 and 8.
Yeah, I guess this doesn't front load the damage because if he did it the other way, he would have a Steel Overseer activation, and then he'd still be able to equip and smash with Cranial Plating.
Yep. So Nick will go down to 11 here on the crack.
Yeah. So I think it would just be 2 more damage if I'm understanding the board correctly.
That's correct. So he'd be at 9 instead of 11.
Oh boy, Courser Crucifix.
Showing a way to get a land, but not a land itself.
Bang! Back up to 12.
Oh man. Cinderglade will get a life back for Nick. He'll go to 12. He's going to pass back to Jeremy.
Well, so the bright side here is that there's no flyers besides the Inkmoth Nexus, so at least Nick's going to be able to potentially block whatever the Cranial Plating is on.
Until next turn when he activates the Blinkmoth Nexus that he just put down.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Looks,
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, this actually might be lethal right now.
So Jeremy is on Mystery Card Glimmer Void.
This is that's the wrong land. Okay, he's
just
God, oh, he animated a Summoning Sick land though.
To make Cranial Plating bigger.
Right, but this is just lethal if he attacks with the Inkmoth.
Sure.
Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 artifacts, and then 9, 10 from the Inkmoth. And I'm fairly sure this is not lethal unless... Because he can't equip the plating, right? Yeah. Somebody else in chat represented or acknowledged game with Inkmoth.
He could tap the Inkmoth for mana.
Yeah, but he needs to attack with the Inkmoth, is what I'm saying.
Or
The Blinkmoth is summoning sick.
Yeah,
the Blinkmoth is summoning sick, right? He just played it this turn. I'm right about that, right?
Yeah.
If the Blinkmoth, I mean, he should have had the kill there, but the Blinkmoth is almost positive it's summoning sick. Because he played, this is turn 3, right?
Yep.
Gross. So it's a strong turn.
Yeah, Bogglesworth, we just let the front of room know about the Blink Moth.
Yeah, we sent that news upstairs. Yeah, so the Blink Moth is... I think the stream's on like a 30-second delay, so he caught this stuff already. You'll probably see me talking about it right as...
Looks like they're moving around the Blink Moth.
Yeah, so I'm gonna like try to correct the live totals here.
Yep, there's our head judge, Joe Steet. He's looking to back up the game state. Joe's a good judge. He's good people. I've worked with him a lot. He's also the area representative for Western and Central New York in the program. In case you ever wanted to meet him, right?
Is it 4? It's not 4 poison, right? So we're rewinding.
Rewinding to the attack step to the point where the arrow was made.
And
so it is an animated creature that cannot attack.
So it should be 2 poison.
Should be 2 poison and
so
5 regular damage.
This is what we refer to as interesting lines, right?
Yes, interesting line of play.
Maybe I'm counting it up wrong. Maybe he was 1 short because no, he could just activate the. No, if he moved the plating over by tapping the Blink Moth wouldn't be an artifact. But no, it worked, right?
There is Stompy Evaloff. Going to gain 4 life. Go up to 14.
Because he tried to animate the Blink Moth and attack with it, so it ended the turn like just upright, so it would have been able to animate itself. So this should very clearly be the infect kill.
Unless he opts to make an interesting line of play again.
I think Nick is just thinking, man, maybe he didn't do it last turn, maybe he just won't do it this turn. All right, he's doing the math this time. I don't think he's gonna miss it. Nick doesn't seem happy about this, but it's just understandable.
Sure. Nice gain of life. I'll just 10 you anyway.
Yeah, so the life totals are like
14 on 20 with 2 infect.
Not actually gonna matter. So let's see if he finds. He
activated
like, there you
Moth.
go.
There's plating. Activate Blink Moth. Please attach plating. Please equip plating.
I don't want to. I mean, Affinity is a complicated deck.
With many interesting lines.
Now he has instant speed equip. Okay. Maybe he's playing around.
I mean, he's tapped out.
There's no like instance. There's no 0 mana bird spell, right? It's like
correct. There's got shot.
Yeah, it's like there's no like slaughter. There's no like red slaughter pact, right?
Correct.
I forget how slaughter pact is non-black creature, right? So I can kill Ink Moth. Yeah. Here. Oh, come on.
What are you doing? No! This might be lethal anyway, but
it
no!
might still be lethal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It is not lethal.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, yeah, I got another turn.
It's gonna go to 5 infect and I think 4? Yeah, 4.
He's so happy. Yeah, I've been gifted another turn.
If he has a land into a prime time, it isn't gonna matter. Aw.
I mean, yes.
Make interesting lines of play, get rewarded. Jeremy Izzio is going to take game 1 here over Atallah. Affinity over Breach Titan. So, that was interesting.
Alright.
Oh, man. So that was a game 1.
That was, alright, so who won?
That would be... the interesting line of play won that game.
It was just like, instead of winning, it was like win, suspend 2, right? That's in the theory, right?
Yeah.
It's like win the game, suspend 2. So that board state was win the game, suspend 2?
2 red, white, -2 loyalty, suspend 2, win a game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, sideboard. So how many Anger of the Gods do we get to bring
1.
in? 1 Anger, 2 Ancient Grudges.
Yep.
1 Chrome. What is that?
1 what?
Chrome.
Choke.
Oh, choke. That's a K. It says chome. See?
Chome. Could say chores.
That's The weirdest cat I've ever seen. Well, Choke's not coming in. I haven't seen Choke in a while. That card's messed up. They should ban that card. Alright, we got one Fracturing Gust.
Okay.
Hornet Queen. That's a good one. You can...
Yes,
it's actually very reasonable just to through the breach the Hornet Queen into play.
Because you get the Infect Death Touchers anyway.
4 blockers.
Yep.
Yeah. So the Thragtusk I think is actually reasonable in this matchup too, but that one's a little more of a toss-up. I'm kind of reaching here. Yeah, and there's a Crumble to Dust.
Arcbound Ravager is $100.
He's making a joke about Osip Lovodovich.
Oh, okay.
Legendary
Gotcha.
Grand Prix Columbus coverage.
Okay.
That's actually really funny.
Well played, Bogglesworth. Well played.
Oh, man. Osip is a mad genius. Sideboard for Affinity. We got 2 Thoughtseizes that'll come in.
Okay.
Etched Champions, some people like it, some people don't. It's a little slow, but it beats Anger of the Gods.
Sure.
The problem is, so you kind of have to pair with a plating for it to really be fast enough. I mean, Spell Pierce is a little loose. And on the Blood Moon, of course.
Yeah.
So both, I expect...
Best you got is 250 sneaky. I'll raise it to 350.
So both decks are sideboarding pretty lightly, so they're both really trying to stick with their game 1 plan. The only difference is Jeremy has a little bit of disruption.
Yep, and Nick has a little bit of
Anger
removal.
of the Gods, yeah.
And Ancient Grudge.
Yeah.
And Fracturing Gust.
Yeah, I think those 2 Wraths are obviously the best card in the matchup.
Yeah.
It's also worth noting that Nick has a Malira in his sideboard.
What card? Malira?
Malira.
Malira?
Yes.
Malira. Lyra.
Yes.
That's Malira.
It's like Talia. Alright. Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction? We pronounce Thalia, Talia, or Thalia, or Thalia.
Yeah, see, it's like, do you pronounce it Talia or Thalia? The choice is clear.
I'll take either of those in 2016. Alright, so it looks like both players are getting ready for their second game. So we'll bring it over to the match in just a moment.
Right. We're on us.
Alright, both players shuffling up for their game 2. Nick will be on the play.
And starting at 4 life, which is also really bad in this matchup.
Gout Blast isn't a card, is it?
It takes him a while to get Metalcraft going.
Yeah, you know.
Like that last game where he had 4 artifacts on turn 1.
And the Blink Moth Nexus.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Nick is probably just like...
He's probably dead.
Man.
He probably just turned off coverage. What's our viewer count, by the way, right now?
And Nick Atallah is just like...
Yep. So to
what happened?
everyone,
I had 3 free turns.
To everyone watching these these interesting lines of play, we appreciate you taking part of your day to watch this PPTQ.
That's the theme of the day.
Interesting lines of play, the format. All right, we are in the semifinals, this preliminary Pro Tour qualifier. For those just tuning in, I'm Tom Davis alongside Ryan Dunn, and we're watching Affinity versus Breach Titan here in our semifinals. Jeremy Izzio is up a game. We're going into game 2. Whew. So, you think Affinity still has the edge here?
I mean, yeah.
In light of recent events?
Yeah, I feel I'm gonna stick to my guns and not be results oriented, but
okay. I mean, Jeremy still won that game, so
I mean, I do think
props to him for winning the game.
It gets better for Nick postport.
Sure, because he has 4 ways of removing artifacts.
Yeah.
You don't need all the deck lists, just play Affinity.
I can just rattle off a tournament-winning Affinity deck that's up the top of my head right now. You can fudge the numbers a little bit. You just want like 5 Etched Champions / Master of Ethereums in total, and then like 4 of all their other stuff.
Just play 5 Etched Champions.
Yeah. Don't forget definitely want 4 Steel Overseers.
Right. Creative problem solving using robots.
I mean, the deck's not called Infect, it's called Affinity. like infect is it's plan B. You know, you don't just go all in on infect. Whatever you can deal 10 damage guaranteed.
I mean, we saw that on game 1.
Yeah.
All right, so it looks like Nick is going to mulligan here. Jeremy's satisfied with his opening hand.
Yeah, if anybody watching hasn't seen the Grand Prix, or sorry, it was PT Columbus OSIP. Where are you? Ooh, sudden shock. Scry.
Did some work for Nick in round 5.
Looks like we got 2 lands.
2 lands,
breach. I think 3 lands and a couple of accelerants, which is kind of exactly what you're looking for.
Thrag Tusk of note is in Nick's hand.
Yeah, should buy some time, give some other pressure.
Yep.
The other semifinals match is already over. Infect won over Affinity.
Yep.
Yeah, it was real quick.
Yeah, the other semifinals done. John Tazio on Infect will be meeting the winner of this match in the finals.
I'll repost that YouTube link after this match. Yeah, you guys aren't going to be able to post it. Nightbot's going to just delete the links. We'll get it in there later. If you want to find it, just Google Pro Tour Columbus OSIP.
All right, so Nick is going to be on a Search for Tomorrow suspended. Jeremy is going to lead with a few more cards in that. Blink Moth, Spring Leaf, Ornithopter into a Thoughtseize.
Yeah, this Thougtseize isn't that big of a deal here for Nick.
Yep.
Because, I mean, it's either going to take the Thrag Tusk, which isn't really going to do that much.
I think he takes a Sudden Shock.
Or it's going to take the Sudden Shock, which would have just, like, traded 1-for-1 anyway, so.
Sure. I think he takes Sudden Shock here. Jeremy will be down to 18 now, regardless of what he picks.
Yep.
And Nick is at 17.
So, probably going to see land, did nothing, and a pass of the turn.
Looks like he drew another land.
So, Sudden Shock is available.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that mountain was the draw.
Yep.
Unless it was the draw last turn. Unfortunately, the Sudden Shock is about to not be able to kill anything if this Master of Ethereum comes down.
Which I think it will, reasonably, as long as he has a land.
And I assume that's his plan
1, 2.
based off of taking out Thrag Tusk. And
Cranial Plating.
I thought he had a land.
I thought he had a land as well. Looks like he doesn't. He's going to pass back to Nick, and he's going to...
Oof.
Ancient Grudge the Plating. That was the draw.
That's very good for Nick, obviously.
Yeah.
Because...
Takes out his relevant threat.
Yeah, Jeremy just doesn't have anything going on right now. So whatever the next threat Jeremy plays, if it's not an Arcbound Ravager, it's just going to pretty much die right away.
Yeah. So Search for Tomorrow is going to come off of Suspend. Nick's going to get a Mountain into play.
So let's see. Yeah, so it's land, Sudden Shock. So, you know, just like another ramp spell would be good here.
Yeah, definitely.
Sakura Tri-Belter.
Speaking of another ramp spell.
Yep.
And he's going to play a Taiga, aka a Cinderglade.
Yeah.
And pass back to Jeremy. Will Jeremy find a land? Looks like he will. Second Blinkmoth Nexus. I think I see an Arcbound Ravager in hand, among other things. Arcbound Ravager, Signal Pest on the right. Cranial Plating, maybe?
I want to say that's another Cranial Plating.
Is that 2 more Cranial Platings?
I think it's 1 more.
Okay. This matchup is animals versus machines.
Yeah, it's like
you are not incorrect.
Beasts. I don't know what Prime Time is. He's like an elemental.
He's a giant.
Oh, he's a giant?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. Cavern naming giant.
Do not name Titan.
Yeah. I mean, you can just name Titan, and then you just get to name whatever you want afterwards.
Yeah, because it's an illegal choice.
The important thing is that you don't do it on purpose. But now that I've told you that, you can't do it. So
Yep. 1, 2.
yeah, so Ravager was good here.
Ravager Signal
'Cause
Pest.
Ravager insulates Jeremy against Ancient Grudge. Oh, I forgot.
Ooh, Sudden Shock.
So he at least gets the modular still, but yeah, that's
Pretty rough.
I did.
Plus, he still has the Ancient Grudge in
it's
the
like-
graveyard.
arguably the best thing you can do with Sudden Shock.
Yeah. So, do you think he just holds the Ancient Grudge to see if he drops any more relevant threats? Because right now he has a Signal Pest and a Rafflecopter.
Repeat the question. I just heard the.
The Ancient Grudge he still has in his graveyard. Do you think he just uses it now on the Signal Pest after
Nah,
modular?
the pest isn't. Yeah, so this does modular. They're wondering if it modulars, and modular's a triggered ability, so it's just gonna happen. Oh, it's going over to. Oh, this is with Signal Pest on the stack. Gotcha.
Yep. So you can't sacrifice anything, but the modular trigger will happen.
And the pest is on the stack. So yeah, neither of these creatures are threatening enough to waste the Ancient Grudge on.
Sure. So yep, Nick with a very good Sudden Shock there at a very good time.
All right, so I think Nick has a land. Or does he? Is he Hellbent? No.
He is Hellbent.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember if he had one more land or not.
Nope.
Because I know that was his last relevant spell. Yeah, so unfortunately, he needs to draw like land Titan.
Deck doesn't play that well off the top. Until you get 6 lands.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say it plays great off the top if you have 6 lands.
Yep.
But
Without
Nick
it, though, you need a land.
Nick is gonna have a lot of turns.
Yep.
Bang, Thragtusk. Nope, just search for tomorrow.
There's your 6th land.
Yep. And you know, even if Nick just draws lands for the rest of the game, he actually has a reasonable shot of winning because he has.
If he gets a Valakut.
He has. Oh, sorry, he doesn't have a Valakut. I was looking at the Cinderglade,
Sure.
so never mind. I retract that statement. All I has to do is rip Prime Time.
And he'll, you know,
Yeah, or some
Call it in how many turns?
The same thing. Yeah, I mean, Prime Time in this matchup, just cast it and then attack next turn.
you think Jeremy brings in Blood Moon here?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Okay.
This is one of the things the matchup's for.
I think that's a Mem Knight off the top.
Nice.
I think that's a full art Mem Knight.
Oh, Nick is excited. He's hype.
Set phasers to hype.
I bet Nick wishes that one of these lands was an Ink Moth.
Whenever I hear Infect and Nick, it's usually me losing.
I bet Nick wouldn't have missed the 10 points of Infect.
Nick's super happy right now.
Yeah, when I made that comment about Nick missing with the Infect, I was talking about Rob Nick in chat.
Hmm.
I got too
You
many
mean Jeremy
Nicks.
missing with the Infect?
No, I was talking about Rob Nick.
Rob
Nick would
okay.
never miss an Infect kill.
Gotcha.
Rob Nick is the Infect master. Yeah, so this is going to get an Ancient Grudge, assuredly. And then Jeremy will be back to having minimal pressure.
Gotcha. Ancient Grudge,
Bang.
the master of Ethereum.
Alright, and so yeah, Nick is only going to take 2 this turn. Of course, I'll take 4 the turn after that, but like I said,
It's better than taking like
he
13.
has a lot of turns. So Jeremy just he just has to. I mean, they're really just top decking. Like Jeremy's winning on board. Nick has a lot of potent draw steps, but so does Jeremy. So Jeremy is looking for. I wonder what he drew that he couldn't cast. This
Through the Breach, maybe?
yeah, Through the Breach is somewhat likely. It could be an Ancient Grudge. This
be.
deck plays at sorcery speed most of the time. Oh,
There is another
boy.
fighting. Oh, boy.
Gonna slap this on one of these guys. Who would you put this on?
I'd probably put
Probably
this on.
Midnight, right?
I'd probably put it on Signal Pest.
Well, I mean,
Because it's
yeah, I mean the Signal Pest makes your Blink Moths good,
yeah.
which is why I think the Signal Pest is more valuable than Midnight.
Signal Pest you get in for damage here along with Battle Crying or Ornithopter.
Well, I mean we're playing around, so it's still 1 damage either way, right? It's
Sure.
1 from the Midnight or 1 from Battlecry.
Yeah.
And we're talking about playing around Bolt.
Yep. So Nick's going to take 7 here,
So
I
you
think, and go to
basically
8.
are asking yourself like, which threat do I want to get bolted?
Yep. So Jeremy now presenting lethal. Sakura Tri-Outer.
On the bright side, he doesn't have to re-equip. But yeah, this is going to be game.
Yep, this looks like it's going to be game 2.
Unless Jeremy tries to play around something. which I don't think you would bother here.
I think you go for it. Another Ornithopter.
Yep. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
So
6,
it's like 9 damage.
7 artifacts already. So it's just lethal without even having to animate these blink moths.
Yep. Looks like he animated both though for value.
He's not attacking with them. He's just animating. That actually does less damage. That's fun. I think it's actually the same, right? Because whether you attack with water or spend the mana, because it's because of the battle cry. It ends up being one more.
Yep. Did Ornithopter attack there when it just came out?
Yeah, it did.
So should we?
I'll just mention that. Well, this is lethal.
Unless he tapped it with Spring Release Drum, that's possible.
Oh yeah.
Representing the very powerful 2-mana Wooded Foothills. Alright, Jeremy Izzio is going to take this match 2 games to 0 over Nick Atallah. And our finals is going to be a matchup of Robots and Infect.
Oy.
So, what do you think about that?
I mean, I think Infect is favored.
I think so too.
We can go ahead and cut to commercial here while we set up the last round.
Yep, and that won't take long. John's already ready to go. So we're going to take a quick commercial break here. Hang tight, you won't want to miss the finals here at the PPTQ for Dublin at Western New York Gaming.
All right,
Don't go away.